Alrighty then, back to drawing with Darwin. Today, boys and girls, we're going to work on ink practice. This is our blending technique using an ink wash. This we're going to do using our pens, or in this case wood, to do different techniques, okay? So we're going to practice 3 of the 5 techniques today. First thing you're going to need is some watercolor paper. What you also need is some water, some India ink, and a paintbrush, a palette, and probably some paper towel. Okay? First thing we're going to do is quickly sketch out our shapes. What shapes would you guys like to do this hour?
Something easy.
Something easy.
OMG, square.
Square!
That's the easiest one.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
Yeah, all you have to do is color a black crescent of
I think
black.
we should do square by two. Yeah.
We're going to do the square and we'll do the sphere. Okay?
How did you just that so fast? Okay. So, alright, so we're just
We're going to put our light source above. We've got our 2 shapes drawn. And we're going to start using stuff. I'm going to try to have this stuff on screen so that you guys can see it as I do it. Can you guys see this side of the paper or no?
you're going too fast. You're going too fast.
Come on, people in YouTubes don't like it when you go slow.
Well, then the YouTube.
Well, then the YouTube. We are not YouTube.
I don't think I did it before.
Patricia likes it.
Yeah, I still love that. Hit the pause button.
Okay, we're done.
Alrighty then. Anybody else? We all there yet?
I guess I'm done.
Are you there yet? Are you there yet? Are you there yet?
I can't work on the pictures.
How about now? Alright. Silencio, por favor. Thank you. Quiet, please. Silence, please, is technically what I said. Alright, so I wetted my brush just to reshape it a little bit. My brush was really cattywampus, and I wanted to make sure it had a nice point to it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little water into my container, or into one of these little cups. And probably about 3/4 of the cup full. Trying not to make too big of a mess. I got this nice little lid on here to keep it from spilling over, but it does kind of hamper things. All right. My students would prefer that I went really slowly, so we will slow it down. Okay. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this one with lots of water in it.
Alright, throwing lots of water.
And we're going to barely touch our brush into the ink so that we just get a little ink. I'm going to put it on the top of my palette to make sure I'm getting most of the ink out. And I'm going to touch it to my water so that I get a very light gray.
Oh, that's cool.
It is cool, isn't it? Now, we're going to take and paint our entire square that we've drawn with this light gray.
The whole thing, that color.
Yes. Paint, my little minions, paint! So this is very similar to how you can work with watercolor. So if you only had one color of watercolor, like a red or a blue cake, you could do the same thing and do a monochromatic coloring. And that's really what we're doing here is monochromatic painting. This is actually kind of transitional between this and a paint. But I think it's important enough. All right, now where I painted that ink here on this spot here, it's still fresh. I can pull up a little bit of that ink onto the end of my paintbrush, and I can take that brush and I can paint it along the back side of here, and it'll make a darker gray line.
Wait, so I make it like darker now?
Yep.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to build up transitional tones.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
I'm so excited. You don't even know.
So can you guys see? You can't see it very well. Let me see if I turn this sideways. Maybe try a little bit of that, a little bit of that. That looks better. Why does it sound like I've got gremlins in my back?
Because there's like no darks in mine. Where did you get that thing? Oh, good job, Isaiah.
Look at my square today.
All right, pop quiz. Which side is going to be the darkest? The top, the side, or the back? The sun is towards the top, so the top will be the lightest. The side is somewhat exposed to the light, so it would be lighter, or it'll be a little bit darker, and the darkest is going to be our backside. Just like you're in real life, your dark backside is probably your darkest.
Where do I make it darker?
I failed.
So I added a little ink to the top of that and made it a little darker and left a highlight. I left that very lightest spot.
So the top is supposed to be darker.
A little bit, not a lot.
Not a lot.
So there's no difference in color.
Dude, his is really
We'll test it out. I didn't have anything else.
Mine did it very bad.
Mine's bleeding.
I can fix it.
You can, as long as it's wet, you can fix it. If you take your paintbrush and you rinse it, and you take like this, and you pull the water out of the paintbrush, you can actually take and pull back the color if it goes too far. It doesn't work once it dries, which the great thing with this kind of ink painting is that it's permanent, and you can put another layer over the top because it's permanent ink.
Mr. Jordan, you should have told me that when I messed up.
I should have.
Yeah, because I definitely messed up because now it doesn't look good. So now I had to restart.
I wonder if on the video I can hear you guys.
I promise. I'm hilarious.
You are. Whoa.
Looking.
That
Oh. I made a mistake.
dang it.
How can I fix this? Oh, I know. I can take my paintbrush, clean it, add just a little bit of plain water, and I can drag the color across to get transitional
You're
tones.
so smart.
Zoinks. Real boy. And because this is my darkest side, that's okay.
Can I just do like ink or something? Oh yeah, we can make it darker.
I feel like I'm failing. Me too.
All right, so do you see how it goes from darker, transitions to lighter, but the edge is still pretty dark. Now, we need this side to be a little darker than our top. Right now, this side is the lightest, right? So we're going to need to mix a gray.
What size?
I'm going to take my ink here that was on the edge, and I'm going to mix it a little darker. Just use a touch of ink. If it gets too dark, add more water. Maybe move to another spot, palette.
That's it, I'm done.
Yes, it's the paintbrush.
It is. It's like super duper steel.
It's the paintbrush. It wasn't me, it was the paintbrush.
This one's a little fatter, it'll be a little thicker.
I think I made my body smaller.
So you want to transition from darker to lighter, even on this side a little bit. But if it gets too dark, you can pull the ink off by blotting it on a piece of paper. And as long as it's still wet, you can pull a lot of the tone away. This style was used in a lot of advertising art in the 80s and earlier.
At this time, please release the high school cross-country team. Thank you.
Zoinks. Guys, put your stuff away and have a great day.
Run good, Cooper.
We're have fun.
All right, so I'm going to do the shadow real quick. The shadow is super easy. For the most part, I've got a decent square here, and I don't think I'm going to mess with it much.
I was taking a nap.
I don't know how I can fix that, but it's got a lot of highlight because the water's wet, and oh, I know.
Water's wet.
Water's wet, I know.
No, it's not.
All right, so you can see I kind of blocked a little bit of the light, and you can see the gray transitional tones here. And it goes from darker to lighter to lighter, lightest on the top with a highlight along the edge. I'm going to do a shadow real quick. So shadows are pretty easy. We want to make sure we don't have excess ink. So I'm going to take the paintbrush once it's dipped in, and I'm going to work the excess paint out of the brush on the edge here. And I'm going to paint a dark line right across here at the bottom where the shadow touches the ground. Then I'm going to rinse my brush, get all the water out, well, not all the water out, but I'm going to get the brush pretty clean, and I'm going to drag my shadow away from our square, and the ink is going to flow along there and give us some transition. Re-wet the brush. All right, so that's our shadow for an object. All right, so that's a decent cube. The paintbrush I used is this size. This is pretty decent for what we're doing.
Don't forget to show the YouTube.
Yeah, I'm showing you though because you're more important than YouTube's. I said it. I meant it. All right, so the same thing we're going to do here. We're going to start with this circle that I've drawn. I'm going to go ahead and put a light tone over everything, leaving no white space.
Faster, Stella, it's not a grip.
You got this.
I know this is
Or my cube might not be finished all the way. Or it might be stuck behind, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, me either. So I'm moving on.
I'm not being ink on
My cube, I promise I have higher potential. So I'm just trying to put it on the paper.
Yes, it's a circle that I've now colored in with a very, 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 very light gray. Alrighty then, now we've got this colored in. Now we're going to take just a little bit of this. So you notice this is lighter, darker, darker, darkest, right? So One thing we need to have is a crescent shadow. Crescent shadow falls the opposite side here. I don't know how to do the accent for that particular phrase, so I'm gonna get my ink. I'm gonna get a dark color here. That's okay. I'm gonna not freak out as it spreads. I'm gonna rinse my paintbrush really quick. I'm gonna take out most of the water, but just leave the brush wet. And then I can use that to spread this color. I'm using swoopy marks here to help transition the color. And we'll come back in and we'll do darker and lighter several times.
Mr. Rowan, I think some people are judging.
I'm sure.
Especially at his. It's really bad.
Mine?
No, not yours. Andrew's is just basically black, and ours is black. Yours is good.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Wait, I'm a little. I cannot judge yours.
Let me see it.
Pretty much. Okay, I can't judge mine's
All right. The trick is not to get it too wet. So a lot of this actually is about being patient and letting stuff dry a little bit. So now that I've kind of got a basic shape here drawn with a highlight, I can go in and add a little darkness in a minute, but I'm gonna let it dry a sec.
Holy cow.
See, senor? Did you go straight up with the black and end up with a big black spot? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna maybe use my medium tone here. And I'm gonna maybe add a little more into my shadow. Yep. So, shh, hey, ladies, relax. Too loud. So you can see that I'm transitioning the colors. Actually, my water is so dirty at this point that this is lighter. So as I got up towards the edge, I used that lightest one that we made for my transition. I'm gonna come back and just keep kind of punching up the black area where the shadow, crescent shadow is, and then thin out the water and have it transition a little bit so that it actually transitions.
Alright.
Clear as mud.
Let's see it, Carl.
I know.
Carl, let me see. Oh, wait, actually.
All right, I really feel like you guys should be my 6th-hour class.
Should what?
You guys should be my 6th-hour class.
I agree.
I feel like this would be a good end of the day. I don't really want to do the 8th graders last hour. I love them, they're great kids, but no, the freshmen do suck. Hey, relax, relax. But I have to say, all the stuff you guys told me about your about the 8th graders was untrue. Most of them are really good kids.
No, they're bad.
No, most of the 8th graders that I'm dealing with are really good kids.
But they're not as something peers. Yes, I know.
That may be true.
They gotta protect themselves.
They don't have to protect no one.
All right, So I got a decent shadow there. It's not showing up on screen, but there's definitely a dark crescent here, and then it transitions to lighter and lighter. Remember, if it gets too dark, you can pull away the color by cleaning the brush, pulling out the excess water, and then sopping up where it's wet, and it'll actually pull a little bit of the ink away and make it a little lighter. I know I'm about to do the shadow. I'm just pulling out some of this before it gets too far. All right, shadow. You have to figure out where it touches. I'm going to get a little bit of fresh ink. I'm going to put it on the edge here, kind of make sure I don't have too much in my brush. Where it touches on the ground, you're going to draw a sharp line, right? You don't want to get it in the wet spot too much or else it'll start to draw into your other drawing. Then you're going to take and rinse your brush, pull out most of the water, and then draw it out. Draw out a circle. Just a little circle here. Happy little circle. Be nice and gray and light. I don't think it's one you own. I'm pretty sure. Well, Isaiah, I've been using that word since before you were born. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, I got it from Mr. Bourne, dude.
So there was a time when I was like cheeks all the time, and I was so like,
Yeah, it's like nobody ever sees me. And I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. Okay, I'm gonna start saying it and not say it all the time.
that's what I used to do.
So do you want me to stop saying it?
I think I missed it my shadow.
Yeah, it's actually.
All right, what's the problem? What's the problem with this shadow?
Hey, it's not up to scale.
Yeah, it's too small.
Really dark line.
I just used an artwork. It'd be perfect for myself. Did I say right? It's the best. Oh, I know. Look at my shadow.
I'm actually gonna geek out.
Why is that so good?
Why is my shadow like that?
Why is your circle so small?
It's bad.
All right.
Why is your actual
Why is your circle like that?
I felt like a stone.
Oh, thanks, guys. I know that because
What are we looking at?
wait,
Square is still so
You should stop saying cool people.
It's my signature. All right, so now we're going to transition. Hopefully you guys are at this point. Take the amount of time that you need to get it done. Ah!
Were you not recording all the time?
No, I dumped my ink.
so did Stella.
Dude, that happens to me all the time. Oh my God,
So the top corner. Ah! And I just put a thumbprint on it. Yep. Welcome to art life. Well, luckily this is just a practice, so. I'm gonna have to wash my table, and I need more paper towel.
Alright, I got this. Oh, I got
It's the circle of life, and it's over. Yep. I got black spots all over. All right. Now we need a piece of, we're not going to need this, and we're not going to need this, and we're not going to need the paintbrush. So I'm going to pause the video, and my students are going to go ahead and put their stuff, that stuff, and wash it up and put it away. All right. Alrighty then, we are back. Hey, you guys are too loud. I feel like I'm the star, not you. Good luck with that. Alright. Shh. Ladies, gentlemen, quiet. So we're going to transition here to the next thing. We're going to draw a couple of shapes on here. We're just sketching them out. They don't have to be perfect, but the concept is just we are going to do some pen and ink techniques. What are the 5 techniques we practiced? Perfect. Stippling,
Hatching, cross hatching,
hatching and cross hatching,
scumbling, and blending.
scumbling,
Sir, what's the circle one?
That's scumbling.
and that actually comes up later. That term will come up later in another project that we're doing. All right, blending is what we did when we basically used it like a watercolor. So yeah, otherwise it's really hard. So these are the techniques that we have to choose from: hatching, cross hatching, scumbling, and stippling. I'm gonna let you guys choose which ones you want to use. I'm gonna start with the scumbling. And I think I'm going to start over this one because last hour I did, I'm not going to do scumbling because I already did scumbling. So here's an example of scumbling. I took the pen and ink and I started in the corner because my light source is here. And I started the circle small and just kind of worked out. And as the ink ran out, it got lighter and lighter. And I worked that out from the center out to the side, leaving just this light. So that I have 2 shapes done, I'm going to do this one here. If our light source is here, then we're going to have a shine mark right along the edge of this. You can think like a Coke can if it's super shiny. So there's a little bit of ink there. And I think I'm going to try hatching and cross hatching just because that's probably the technique that's one of the hardest ones. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to actually sketch out my shape. I still have ink. Yay! So a word about line, especially in pen and ink, the thicker the line is, it tends to have a term that's called line weight. So if you have a really thick line, it tends to feel heavy. And so you want to have, when you're drawing, sketching with pen and ink, you actually want your heavier lines to be towards the ground so that your object is grounded. But towards the top, you want it to be lighter. And also, in this case, since our light is coming from this direction, our far side here could also be heavier, but not as heavy as our ground. And you'll notice that because I'm using a piece of wood, as it runs out of ink, it gets a nice thin, small, light line. Just keep redipping. Actually, ancient scribes used to use pieces of reed and stuff for that when they were doing it. All right, so we're going to try using some hatching and cross hatching. You can use both techniques. Remember that the most successful is going to be if you use contour lines and not flat lines because you want to suggest the shape. So because I know this side's going to be darker, that's where I'll start drawing from, and I'll draw my line curved in this direction towards the light source so that line should be thicker and then get thinner and lighter. I'm going to start pretty far apart and just use that line to kind of define the shape. What?
Do I have to do hatching?
No, you can choose to do stippling or scumbling or whatever you want to do. I'm just doing this because it's the technique that I haven't really covered in pen and ink. All right, so this would be hatching. I can make it denser by making my lines closer together. We tend to read that as being more dense. So by just splitting some of these, it tends to make it look like it's darker at this end. Ladies, you need to be quiet. What did I just say? All right, so we barely got started on this one. This hour seems to be a little bit slower than my other hour as far as like getting things done, but
It's because we take more time.
that's it. It's their quality is better.
It's our
All right, so tomorrow we're gonna finish off on this, and then we're also gonna cover color pencil. Okay, so that's the plan. For anybody that's not here today, I'm gonna post this online on Google and maybe even on my YouTube channel. Have a great day. Get cleaned up. Put your stuff away.